Hello everybody, welcome back to another stream. So, on last night's stream, we went through a bit of the base game so that way I could get the Silurian armor set as well as the Silurian tree spear. And then after that, we visited the Stone Coffin Fisher and we fought the Putrescent Knight, talked to Trina, started the end of Tiolier's quest, and then I don't know if there's like a point where you go too far and you can't get his concoction anymore. I kind of imagine it'd be after, you know, the final portion of the DLC, but just to be on the safe side, I figured I should do the stuff related to Florisax before Tiolier kind of gets all butthurt with like the Saint Trina questline and is kind of like against us for a time. So just to be safe about that, we haven't told him about Trina just yet, I don't think. And right, so we are on our way to go visit Florisax, and I figured stopping before going into the Jagged Peak by going through the Dragon's Pit would be a good place to begin. We already beat Ancient Dragon Man over here at the tail end of the last stream. So that's kind of what's on schedule for today. So Jack Irish, Pigsy, Astanex, Operator, our Crusader, Dylan, nice to have all of you again, and Dave, welcome on in. He's a simp. It's a good thing we're not on Twitch where that's a banned word. Okay, so right, now that we are in, what is this, the Dragon Cave? Dragon's Pit, not Dragon Spit. We will see some more Ferrum Azulin, I guess this isn't architecture, pottery, ornamentation, and we finally get some more beastmen of those who live in death. Which, now that I'm like reconsidering those who live in death in general, and when they first came into the timeline, are these things actually just those lost in death? And could there have been skeletal beastmen before Ferrum Azula was death blighted, I guess? Don't remember what this is. Just a smithing stone tier 1. Oh boy. Operator said, is ancient supposed to modify dragon or man? You're assuming ancient dragon because they're called that. You kind of want it to be an old as hell dragon guy. That's kind of one of the more interesting things about linguistic ambiguity in both Japanese and English, where sometimes it's not clear if the adjective is modifying another adjective or an adjectival phrase versus a noun. So I guess that really just comes up to your own preference. I one-shot that dude? Alright. Yeah, so when I came through here on my first playthrough, I already had the Lamenter lamp. It's probably my favorite DLC item, so I was able to just kind of ignore a lot of things. Do I want to try to deal with the magma worm? I don't remember what it drops. I'm assuming a dragon heart? No, because why would it drop a dragon heart? Because we don't get anything else. I think it's only the ghost flame dragons which really drop those kind of things in the DLC. Hey Kyle, nice to see you again. You're here early for once. Hit that like button, thank you. And be sure to ring that bell for when the times I forget to set the stream until like 5 minutes before. So that way you get notified when I'm actually going live. Or honestly, you should join the Discord if you want like the best notifications. Because I don't know what exactly the deal is with YouTube notifications. But they are just inconsistent as hell. So anyway. We get the kind of dragon communion line style torches and these kind of big chalices, which are probably meant to evoke blood based imagery based on what we see over there. But I wonder why all of these statues of the dragons are headless. So it seems like the Placidusax people and their religion was driven out of the Shadowlands. I'll need to think about that a bit more. Hey, Elden Enthusiast, nice to see you again. You still haven't posted... What was the thing? I almost said Kid Icarus, but that's totally not right. I have no idea why I thought that. The thing that you said you were going to post. Like a week ago. Did I say the theory about pressure cooking and bail? Yes, this is an actual video. No. So I don't really watch videos for like Elden Ring content unless I'm doing it on stream for the most part. Just to share like some of my reactions with you guys. And because, I don't know, I just kind of don't really go out of my way to watch that stuff in my personal time in general. Oh, I thought I killed him. Okay. There we go. Kid A. Hey, Safe Frog. Yeah, I'm a little bit of an amnesiac. Oh, Lordy coming. So these dudes still have the Sun Realm Shield. I say still like they lost it or that we've seen them before, but it's just the Blue Beastmans. I didn't realize they could drop glaives. I'm pretty confident this item might not have a ton of lore info. Oh yeah, we could deal with the magma worm now that I think about it. It shouldn't be too bad at all. Weapon comprised of a sharp blade affixed to a long grip. It is in fact a sickle repurposed to be a tool of war. Yeah, so there's like no lore flavor text. So, this is how you can deal with the magma worm. And if you unlock, you should be able to look up a tunnel. So one of the times where I wish I had the cerulean physic tier thing on. So how's it going for you guys now that we are, you know, in the midst of life and death battle. It's a video I might want to show. It's actually about the story. Yeah, so if you guys ever want me to react to something on stream, you could always leave it in a comment on these videos directly or on my Discord in the channel ideas server feedback channel, because then I can add it to my queue of videos and I'll get to it eventually, hopefully. It drops the smithing stone. You remember being so disappointed about that worm drop? Definitely beyond brand. So, this... What's I gonna say? Like... Oh yeah, this cave is just kind of pretty rough to deal with for just kind of being a pretty small area. Like, it's pretty easy to pile on some damage if you don't approach it methodically, I guess, or approach it well. So that doesn't surprise me. How come dragon communion guys become worms and others get to be ancient dragon men? So it does seem like the ancient dragon men form of communion is different than this one. So I don't know why they become worms. Maybe because they performed dragon communion before it was like okayed by Placidusax and its faction. I don't really know. Before we had any indication of people actually kind of being like the ancient dragons, I more or less just assumed, damn it, that... I know I should have equipped it earlier. No, that doesn't do it. That's gonna take forever. I can't craft anything. I don't have my actual rot pots. I don't believe. Oh wait, maybe I have the base ones? No. That's what I get. That is what I get. Can't use rot grease with my current weapon. That's what I get for getting hit. I probably would have been fine if I wasn't hit by the dude. I could pop a starlight shard, but it's probably not going to help. Actually, I've recovered a little bit more than I was expecting. But I mean, I don't really use starlight shards anyway, so here we go. Oh no worries, Jack. I'm just trying to let you and other people know what options are available to get my attention for stuff like that. Yeah, because I definitely understand not wanting to pretty much do anything extraneous out of any website that you're already on. Smart tactic, but you wouldn't want to disapprove Lord Godfrey. I do me. All right, here we go. Suppose since I'm just waiting around, I may as well have this one go. If I was a better streamer, I'd be able to fill this lack of content with shatter. It's kind of nice having a moment to just, like, chill and breathe. Although it is a little bit tedious, I admit. Elden Enthusiast highly recommends Dictionary of Alchemical Imagery by Lindy Abraham. You haven't found a better resource for alchemy? You have the PDF, but you don't know if you should link it on Discord. It's technically piracy. Yeah, I wouldn't condone piracy by any means, so totally understandable So now that we've... Wait, why can't I switch my weapon? There we go, that was weird. Now that we've done a significant chunk of damage, let's just go mano a mano and then die immediately. No, we do get a dragon heart. I didn't ancient dragon smithing stone. Alright, good enough for me, I suppose. Plus some knot resin, that was a scary little ghost. And another one of the most dangerous drops? No. For some reason, I thought this one connected into like another pit with 3 dogs. I think it's because the first time I ran through here, I jumped down that door window thing, and then I ran up the steps because it looked like that was the important way to go. And so then I ran past the word because I wasn't dealing with all that, and then it like funneled me out here. We had the dude waiting, and then all the guys who were chasing me. So I just got a little bit turned around my first time through. What did we have? Right. Turtles. I really like its second charged R2, but I mean, really, when are you ever going to get a second fully charged R2 off in a row? You think it's interesting that Faerum's culture seems to revere Placidus Sax rather than its god? I don't know. Like that's a good point, but I'm just trying to think of like how well Godfreys are guarded. Certainly there is more imagery of America in general, but she also had kind of like a second age to follow Godfrey. But Godfrey shows up in a ton of places. So I'm not so sure how weird it is for Placky to be liked after all. So, oh yeah, then we got a death note. Don't think of anybody's name. Be brave, show no fear. So, anytime I see one of these notes now, I just think of Gale. It's like, take the plunge. So we get another really big drop for no real seeming reason. And then this guy might clap us a little bit. I'm not sure. So let's put on our physical damage negation talisman. He was kind of tough without blessings, but that's just because most NPCs like this dude could like two-shot me. I thought he was firing his laser. How did I jump over him while he was in the sky? Feels like there's a number of those jumps in the DLC. I was trying to guard break. I think that one shoots a projectile, yeah. Yeah. Do a lot more damage this time around and take a lot less. Oh, damn it. Force of habit. Ancient Dragon Man has been felled, and from that we get the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. And so after that we get another door, which is exactly like the green doors that we can see throughout Farum Azula, which I think is a nice little detail. We don't really see these anywhere else either. Astynex is finally free of the cat. Congrats. And that's bullying? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oops. Just trying to read chat and then overshot it. Jack had to run in with some creepy people on the internet. My condolences. And then 2 middle fingers. Welcome back to the stream. You didn't know that weapon had a second part? Oh, yeah. The Ancient Meteoric Ore Greatsword. The second part is... Honestly, the first part's the best part of it. But the second part is like icing on the cake. I just want to spam it because it's satisfying. Even if it isn't the most effective now that enemies are seemingly able to roll dodge away from the second hit. Which kind of sucks, but it's totally understandable. What's I doing? Alright. I don't really think I need to be stealthy in this next section now that I think about it. Oh yeah, I remembered. Alright. Thank you, operator, for the GG. I did beat up that old dragon man. If Godfrey hadn't been exiled with this tribe, maybe he'd be revered more similarly to Placidus Axe, maybe. But to be fair, like a lot of Godfrey's fanboys are like his literal boys, his children almost, so it's arguable. Our Crusader said the industrial-sized sconce had you stumped for a solid 10 seconds, trying to figure out what the puzzle for it was, but you guess the DLC is big on braving leaps of faith? Yes. Jack Irish wonders if the top of the mountain where Bale is where Fair Missoula used to be. I'm not sure. I still need to try to overlay the Shadowlands with the realm of the Erdtree for myself to see what I think would fit together. And if I was better at Photoshop or something, I would almost want to try to like unbreak the lands and like try to fit them together again properly. So like putting this chasm together to see if that changes things, and like the whole landscape of the Shadow Realm seems like it should have been different, and that I imagine could have influenced how it could have looked here. And then there might have also been something similar to have happened to the lands between, because as I pointed out on that other stream, like the mountaintops of the giants with these like little crevices has kind of like the same issue going on as the DLC map, like with this. Though it's obviously a lot more pronounced here, so. Alright. Great katana with spines of gravelstone along its blade, wielded by the ancient dragon man of the Dragon's Pit, has an anti-dragon effect. Formerly a dragon communion warrior, the ancient dragon man was once arbiter of those worthy to devour the dreaded one. So he's kind of like Udex Gundyr, I guess, but for dragon wannabes. Unique skill, Dragon Wound Slash. Designed to hunt colossal dragons, this skill cloaks the armament with a jagged gravelstone aura before performing a high leaping slash. Charge the attack to also fire off the aura. And so everybody on the internet is like, oh my god, the Dragon Hunter Great Katana is so good against Bale. Yes, if your build can use it. So it's just kind of funny when people recommend others to respec their character, essentially. But I do think it's a cool weapon. I just wished I liked the Great Katana base moveset a bit more. It's kind of like one of the bigger reasons why I didn't end up using it. Operator said the Great Katana really saved your blood pressure in a few of these DLC fights. And from this we get the Sharp Gravelstone. The Sleeping Drake of Ofnir. And the Gravelstone says, it's a particularly sharp piece of gravelstone, found at the jagged peak on the south coast. The scale of an ancient dragon that has supped on the blood of lesser dragons. So I really like that description because it shows like the dragons are essentially eating each other, survival of the fittest, and that might play a role into the shaping of the gravelstones, which I think gets kind of brought up elsewhere. What am I doing? It's too far away. Okay, I did route it. I kind of forgot how to fight dragons for a second. I was like, what's my strat? My strat is to rot it so I don't have to manually deal all this damage and then just Business as normal. Try to get it to fire breath. So now we get some flame lightning. So that should show that the Jagged Peak Drake is more affiliated with Bale. Oh. Oh, these dragon horns have been cracked. That's interesting. One shot him, guys. You all saw it. We weren't in combat. That means he died in one hit. Another dragon heart and some dragon scale flesh. So maybe it's the flesh that elaborates. A lump of hot flesh carved from beneath the inverted scale said to grow on aged dragons. When ingested as is, boosts vigor, stamina, strength, and dexterity at the cost of gradual HP loss. To the Drake warriors, there's no more intoxicating liquor than the heat of dragons. So maybe not. Oh yeah, so we got the Lolling Branch recipe from the room with Saint Trina. I should probably read it sometime. Alright, so now that we've taken care of that little dragon, let's go ahead and visit Florissax. With some red Fulgur Bloom to collect along the way. Wait, this is not the right way. There we go. Both lands have shifted over time. Kyle says, it seems like strong creatures, magics, or people kind of change the terrain around them. Bale's Mountain seems to be a good example, like if the rocks are rising around him to protect him. Trying to think of other examples where like the land has changed because of its inhabitants, other than like buildings and stuff. Jack thinks that most people are getting the map wrong. You think that the area where Bellirat used to be is Caelid because it has the same roots. You just need to flip it upside down. Where am I going? All right. I was terrified of that clip for a second. Did I ever play LS and MH? No, I've never played Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is one of those games where it looks too grindy to me. Like, I don't like not being able to see damage numbers on the... Well, it's not really the damage numbers. I just don't like how it looks like... Most of the time when I've seen people in combat against the monsters, they just kind of ignore the hits like they don't do anything, almost MMO style. And it just doesn't appeal to me. And I recognize for sure that FromSoft has a lot of that going on as well, like when you're fighting the gigantic enemies. But I don't know, the hits just seem weightier and more, I don't want to say like realistic, but most of the time in the FromSoft games, like, if all I fought was like the gigantic things and I never saw any damage that I was doing, I probably would have been disinterested in these games too. Mount Gelmir seems to be changed by the war there. Well, we are told in the map description that Mount Gelmir was changed because of the shattering, so I'm not so sure how much of it was the war specifically. Alright, So, now that we've done all that, let's talk to our dragon priestess. So, Florisax is also called a Miko, but of a different kind of sort in the Japanese.
Warrior true, picture yourself feasting upon a dragon's essence, on the throbbing heart of the oldest, vilest dragon of them all. It would be the purest form of communion, the fullest sating of your hunger and your consummation as a dragon whole. Perhaps you have yet to feel true want. I am patient. There will come a day when hunger knocks.
Knocks? The Eternal Cities? No, so I really like how Florisax's dialogue built into Yura's stuff, and talking about feeling true yearning, true want, and all of that being tied to supping on the flesh of ancient dragons is very interesting, especially because the dragons are very gold coated, at least in the base game, kind of less so in the DLC because of like the red lightning, which I guess we're gonna have to talk about that eventually, but I'll leave that alone for now. What else is I gonna say? Maybe not too much more. So yeah, you can turn down her dialogue or her request for now, and then obviously just talk to her whenever to redo it. I just also really like her visual design, like the cool little shoulder pauldron things. Her clavicles sticking out. Oh no, that's a cursed thought. Those are her clavicles.
Warrior true, do you feel the hunger? Then why not feast upon a dragon's essence, on the throbbing heart of the oldest, vilest dragon of them all?
Right, so we will devour draconic essence.
Yes, as it should be. Now, seek the jagged peak. There you will find Bale, the oldest and vilest of all dragons, landbound warrior. Follow your desire and slay the foul beast. Devour its throbbing heart. I will grant you the strength required. In the name of my lord, Placidusax.
Alright. Oops. Wait, why am I walking? Right, so, that reminds me that I kind of want to take a note of this just to adjust some of the Japanese, because some people were asking me about this, and I answered in the Discord, but it might be worth making a short about it. What's her face? Right, Florisax Isabel is the oldest dragon. I think that comes up somewhere else in an item description, but I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. So anyway, it is a technically accurate localization that Florisax does call Bale the oldest dragon, or maybe not this, but something else does. But with that being said, there is some ambiguity as to whether she's referring specifically to all dragons or modern dragons, aka drakes. So the localization is fine, but some inference needs to be made in both English and Japanese as to whether or not she means ancient dragons included or just Bale. But with that being said, we're also told that what's her face? Grail was the mother of all dragons, so it might be more natural to think that Bale is the oldest ancient dragon as well, if Grail is the mother of all the modern dragons. But then again, did I say Bale? I meant Grail. Oh man, why are the names so similar? Let me try to reformulate this thought in case I misspoke. So, if Grail is the mother of all dragons, it is possible that Bale is the father of all dragons, and that might not be too big of a contradiction, I suppose, but technically speaking, it's gross. I don't know. Anyway, Pixie assumes it's the Drakes. Did the screen on chat die? Yeah, that was me when I was minimizing everything to make a note. So, hey Ryushu, nice to see you again. Martian moment. They're similar names because they're mates. Yeah, I never thought about it before. And so you guys were talking about how cool this gigantic dragon corpse is. One of my favorite things about it, and it's kind of hard to tell without the free cam. Well, it's also night, so let's change it to day. I was going to fast travel, but it's probably legitimately faster to just go this way for now. So my favorite thing about the dragon is coming from its mouth, we've got a scorched ground that goes all the way past this building. So the destruction of this building where we just got that cookbook from is most likely due to the death of that dragon, it seems. Which I think is really cool way to build in some of that environmental lore detail. And this dragon is way, way, way bigger than both Placidus Axe and Bale. So that always raises the question to me of like, how the hell did such a thing die? Who killed it? Just what was the story behind this? Like, were these things related to Grand Sax? Or I don't know. Anyway, I think there might be a little bit more with Flora Sax for her to say. So let's go talk to her again.
Warrior true, do you feel the hunger? Then why not feast upon a dragon's essence, on the throbbing heart of the oldest, vilest dragon of them all?
Is it just Jack, or does Bale look like an omen a bit? No, some people have definitely noted a similarity in the appearance of Bale's horns as well as those of the omen.
Yes, as it should be. Now, seek the jagged peak. There you will find Bale, the oldest and vilest of all dragons, landbound warrior. Follow your desire and slay the foul beast. Devour its throbbing heart. I will grant you the strength required. In the name of my lord, Placidus Axe.
So that's... Oh, I know what's going on. Yeah, I forgot about this. So I need to talk to her again. So me walking like that is because that's where she like blesses us and we get the blessing.
Warrior, then, on the throbbing... Yes, now
I was like, why is this dialogue repeating?
Devour. I will in the name...
So that's where we get the pronunciation of Placidus Axe from. Ancient Dragon's Blessing says, it's favor bestowed by the Dragon Communion Priestess in the name of the Dragon Lord Placidus Axe. Consume FP to increase all forms of damage negation, including physical. This also increases damage negation while guarding as an additional effect. Each night, the priestess offers her own sleep to her lord and in turn receives the power of his favor. I forgot about that final line and that he returns his favor for their sleep. So, this was a crackpot theory which I kind of shot down immediately because I was wondering whether or not this meant that the ancient dragons don't sleep normally and maybe she had to become humanoid to sleep to offer her sleep to Placidus Axe, but I don't think that works out because as we came into like the Jagged Peak, we did see a drake sleeping, which is, you know, a drake isn't necessarily an ancient dragon, but when we go to Fair Missoula, there is a sleeping ancient dragon for all intents and purposes. Around, wait, where is the thing? Yeah, I guess it would be like around, okay. right here. So there's like a little bit of a lake where like there's a bunch of trees. So if you have like the scarab thing, and you know where Alexander is somewhere around there. Oh no, it'd be over here, wouldn't it? Why can't I read the map? Oh yeah, no, the rooftop. So from the rooftop, it would be here, I think. Anyway, there are sleeping ancient dragons up there, so I don't think that idea fully works out, unfortunately. So I'm curious about this connection between ancient dragons and sleep, and why Placidusax needs the sleep of others. And maybe that has to deal with his timelessness. That also makes me wonder if we were kind of offering our sleep to him when we fight him, but I don't really know.
Warrior true. What is it that you need?
You could ask about Bale. Hey, Jake Peterson, welcome on in. It's got a big-ass sword in the back of its head. I'll need to look at that. The big old dragon. Or a spear? Okay. True Connoisseur's gut feeling was that one of the old gods killed that big-ass dragon. I'll need to check. Yeah, so that was the plan, Galaxy Dragon, that we were going to give her the concoction from Teolier, because it does have a line in the description that it could make even an ancient dragon fall asleep, and that ties into their quest line here.
In a time
Thanks,
long
Elden.
past, Bale turned upon the Dragon Lord. The foul traitor assailed our master and inflicted a grievous wound, only to make a hasty retreat, becoming a sworn enemy of the brood. Since that day, Bale and his bloodline, the Drakes, have served as sacrifices for Dragon Communion, land-bound warrior. My lord, Placidusax, has shown your kind what must be done. Seek communion. Sate your boundless appetite. Feel the euphoria of a dragon's essence taking root in your meager frame. In a time long, the foul traitor essayed becoming a sworn sin land-bound. Seek, feel.
Right, I was just seeing if she had any more with that.
Warrior true. What is it that you need?
Alright, so seems like that's it. Alright, so that's some cool stuff right there. Alright, so with Bale being the one who grievously wounded Placidusax, that kind of killed some of my thoughts that Placidusax may have been defeated by Godfrey at one point, and that could have been like one of the parts of the transition of power between the time of the dragons and that of the Erdtree. But this could have happened way before all that stuff with the Erdtree and everything. And let me try to rephrase this. So Placidusax could have been defeated before the time of the Erdtree, and that may have given rise to the time of the giants and or the Hornsent potentially, but we don't really have anything in game to fully substantiate those ideas, so these are just trying to make sense of some of these timeline questions. Oh, this thing? Huh. I haven't looked at this. I'll need to like pull out my free cam sometime to see what exactly is going on with this, because this is not the most ideal angle. It doesn't exactly look like Smith's script. It kind of reminds me of the like spiral things in a near a limb, but that's not the same. That's weird. So it's like metal that got calcified by something else on top of it. So yeah, I would definitely understand why people would think that the old gods must have done this. Then we've got the finger runes right there, which is kind of evocative. Huh. That's even more troublesome. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah. What was I saying a moment ago, though? Oh, yeah, just like the timeline ambiguity between when Placidus Axe was hit by Baal. And so, one of the other things which doesn't mesh super well with that ties into when... Wait, maybe I didn't get the Lamenter thing first, because don't you need to go this way to get to the Lamenter? Is that a Dragon Communion harpoon? Why is it so big? I think we're going to use it just to try to get a good angle of it. Okay, so that looks visually distinct enough where I don't think that they're like one-to-one the same. Why didn't I read that? Well, we're going to get more, I think. Sorry guys, I'm having moments here. Let me catch up with you guys in chat, and then maybe I'll remember to complete a thought for once. Jack thinks the Drake ending would have been cool. Commit ultimate blasphemy and become Lord de Baal. Yeah, especially like eating the heart. Kyle says the green tinted stone reminds you of the Gravebird armor, but you don't know. You'll admit you're biased to wanting stuff linked to the Twin Birds. So, with it being tinted green, it could be related to Verdigris and or the Rao civilization, which may or may not have been giants of their own right. So, let's switch it to night to make Florisax fall asleep. So, actually, I've got a question for anybody in chat who might know the answer to this. If I make Florisax fall asleep, will I miss out on the rock heart that you get from her? Because that seems like it'd be likely, but you would also get a different item instead. But if you guys don't know, that's perfectly fine, because I'm probably just going to continue with this anyway. I'm just kind of curious more than anything. And then Jay Dixon, welcome back to stream. Doing pretty well. How's it going for you? Corn says, it makes zero sense to them that the Hornsent seem to have no connection to the dragons. Wouldn't the ancient dragons be considered divine beasts and have statues to be worshipped the same? Maybe the time of the dragons was done before the time of the Hornsent. Is she gone? Should I have told her no? Or does she... I know she'll come back later after you defeat Baal, but I don't know if she's asleep then. Sorry, we'll miss out on the rock heart. That sucks. Maybe the big skull guys around Kaylee would wield a big version of that harpoon. Yeah, I think that's kind of what people would assume would have been the old gods. At least that's kind of what we're talking about in chat the other night. Whoopsies. A lock shot of the heart. Thank you guys. And the mace. Okay. All right, Elden enthusiast, you have a good night, and thanks for posting in that info in the Discord. Hopefully I didn't screw up her quest already. I mean, if I do, it's not that big a deal, because the rock heart is also super cool. And there's quite a bit to talk about with that. So, right. Why do we think they're old gods instead of the progenitor trolls or something? Okay, basically it's just because if the Amog is an arrowhead, it would imply that it'd be a gigantic-ass arrow, and who would wield a gigantic-ass arrow except for some giants? So that's just kind of like the short of it, but that isn't like conclusive. It's just kind of like a, what's the word? A quick simplification of what may or may not have happened. Dragon Communion Grease plus a lot more sharp gravel stones. Do I want to visit Charo? Kind of yes, but mostly no. We could do the... I guess it'd make more sense to just do the rest of Jagged Peak first. Because I don't think there's anything too crazy around here. Was there... Okay, no Site of Grace. It's way further on. Okay. So I'll just warp out and leave Charo for its own thing. And then we'll go back up towards Jagged Peak. Jake said the old God lore is your favorite detail of the sword. Yeah. I like that it has... It's not like overtly stated that it's like got gravitation powers because of the meteoric connection, but it's pretty subtextual with it being tied to the meteors. Why did I go Nightfall? With being tied to the meteors and all. According to Fextra, I have to pass time somewhere else and then go to the altar for to be there at night. Okay, may as well try. Because I've not done enough pass-throughs of the DLC to know all of the NPC quest triggers yet. Okay, so it does say she's there now, so you might be right about that. Matthew Sargent, nice to see you again. Okay, so she is here. Sweet. You find it interesting / cool that a weapon of the old gods uses a magic damage white light attack, and the only other place we see magic damage represented by white light is the Cut Miranda's Prayer. I guess it is kind of white. Let me think if there's anything else. Well, kind of now we have the yellowy or whitish yellow gold of Mikula and the Erdtree. But that's not pure white, to be fair. Which I'm not sure if I would have classified the OG Miranda Prayer as white. So we got some dots because she's sleeping. Good ellipsis. So now we can use Teolier's concoction, or we can leave her be. So she's sleeping with her eyes open. She's got our good Oswald of Kareem pose. Oh no! Now I'm not going to unsee that. The Oswald pose. Okay. What was I going to do? I was going to reread the elixir. I probably need to go to key items. Or is this one the consumable?
Tonight, like every night, my solace is yours. May it grant you sleep in your place beyond time.
I did not know she had dialogue like that. And I probably would have missed that if I was playing on my own. Oh, am I grabbing? Consumable. An ebony black concoction mixed by Teolier. A condensed somniferous elixir purported to be capable of putting even an ancient dragon to sleep. For an ordinary mortal, a single sip would assuredly result in swift and certain death. Teolier thought of St. Trina's sleep when he created this, but the ebony sleep he concocted had not the sweetness of nectar, nor the gentleness of rest's embrace. And so for anybody who may have missed last night's stream, I came to the conclusion that what had happened was Teolier had more go essentially to the Stone Coffin Fisher area, and he had originally wanted St. Trina's nectar, but instead of getting the nectar of St. Trina, he ended up getting putrescence, I think. And so this isn't this doesn't provide rest because it's not actually related to Trina, but maybe it's just putrescence that was slept by Trina, and therefore it's like tainted Saint Trina essence, I guess, or nectar. So, going back to the whole sleep thing, I don't remember what description talks about it, but there's something that talks about the will to awaken, and if this concoction can put people to sleep and kill them, and it could also put ancient dragons to sleep, it might be the difference between a person and an ancient dragon is that ancient dragons naturally have such high wills that they are naturally resistant to sleep. And I'm not sure if that's true mechanically speaking, if you can't sleep ancient dragons normally. Maybe that'll be worth testing sometime. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking right now as to why Flora Sax doesn't die if we give her the potion. Or does she? We'll use the concoction. So I'm assuming I need to pass time, or maybe it's just... Can I punch her? Well, let's just pass time to be safe or rest. All these damn online messages. All right, let's go to daytime. You guys are pointing out that we have another white light weapon with the Sword of Light. That's a fair point as well. Alright, so what do we do? Do we need to beat Bale or do I just punch her? Oh, I can't punch her because I'm in a pacifist zone. And so I asks, does any of this relate to Melina making you sleep by touching your hand, or is that another loose end? That might be a loose end. There is also the thought that since Melina can gift us runes, and runes are kind of tied to willpower, that might tie into it. Maybe she, like, temporarily takes back that power so she can burn herself, but I don't really know. I feel like that's a pretty big stretch, but maybe others feel differently about that. Pastime again. I wonder if it's just like this bonfire might not, or the Site of Grace doesn't work. Okay. So she was out for a minute, huh? Okay. Thank you, House of Redwine, and nice to see you again.
I have broken my pledge. I succumbed to the deep slumber that was meant for my lord. It was a craven act of a foul and lowly beast. Forgive me, good warrior. My lord will no longer look on me. I have fallen from grace. An old dragon, no longer. Go on. Leave me be.
It's kind of wild. It's not too surprising. There's, like, in a lot of mythologies throughout the world, there are often stories where there's some kind of pact that gets broken, and even if it isn't necessarily entirely the fault of the person who broke the pact, they still need to suffer the consequences of having broken it. And, well, it's definitely... What's the word in English? I can only think of the Japanese. Wait, I've got an idea. I guess this is more of a phrase. Awful? I guess awful is good enough, but it's not the word I'm thinking of. So while this kind of thing is awful, that's kind of like one of the morals of the stories, I suppose, that certain pacts or directives should like never be broken, and there can be disastrous consequences for them breaking, even if they aren't necessarily the fault of the people who break them. And it's just kind of an aspect of life, even if it's seemingly unfair, I guess. Like Samson and his hair? Yeah, exactly. That's a really good one.
Go on. Leave me be. My lord will no longer look upon me. Go on.
Alright, so I'm assuming we'll just need to rest and then talk to her again. Maybe pass time once more.
Go on. My lord.
Mikola's way more terrifying than America. He's definitely way more powerful. I would disagree with that, because at the very least, America does have the Elden rune, whereas Mikola didn't. Did I say Elden rune? I meant Elden ring.
Go on. My lord will.
Let's pass once more to Nightfall. Oh yeah, Jake Peterson also brings up the Sword of Solitude as having a kind of white light.
Go on, my lord.
Alright, so I'm assuming now we just need to defeat Bale and then come back and talk to our flower girl. It'd be cool if the dragons could talk. We could hear from Blissida Saxon Bale. Alright, well, she said to leave, so we'll go and get. I'm gonna be honest, I did not have a good time fighting Bale with 0 blessings. It didn't help that he was also like the first remembrance boss that I was facing. No, I guess I fought Rolana first, didn't I think so. Yeah, I think I fought Rolana first. Although it wouldn't surprise me if I did fight Bale first and then just used my militiamen for Rolana, because I didn't want to actually like fully mimic and cheese it that badly. Alright. So I didn't want to take the long way back, so we just teleported back to the Spit of the Ancient Dragons. Don't like the lava little bits, because they kind of remind me of some items you can pick up in other places. Not sure if I go... Oh, straight's nothing, it's just a cliff if I remember correctly, and then I want to go left to like the stone arc. Oh yeah, so we picked up red fulgur blooms as well as that cookbook, which I didn't read, which gives us a record of crafting techniques left by a warrior who challenged the vile dragon Bale only to be grievously injured and broken by fear. Contains details on how a mere mortal can fell a mighty dragon. Acquire the knowledge to craft the following: the dragon communion grease and harpoons, which say harpoon bristling with sharp gravel stones. Third enemies to inflict heavy damage, has an anti-dragon effect. A tool of the old dragon communion warriors, who were the agents of the ancient dragon's hatred for their lowborn descendants. So, Bale and his ilk were given the AOK to eat their hearts and allow humans to perform dragon communion, but we don't know when that was. And it's a little bit weird that the art of dragon communion took off in the capital with the war against the ancient dragons. So I'm half of a mind to believe that dragon communion in general may not have begun until around that time. But it's arguable whether or not the Banished Knights were pre-Godwin, Erdtree, faithful, whatnot. And whether or not dragon communion is a more... maybe not. We'll just say maybe it's an older practice, perhaps, than maybe suggested with only the ancient capital's dragon cult. Not, hold on. The capital's ancient dragon cult. There we go. Pixie says, the Amog looks like Malekith's Blackblade. He was a clergyman for the dragons. Dragons may have fought the old gods. Is there something there? Maybe, especially depending on how we feel about that spear that's pierced the gigantic dragon next to Florisax. House of Redwine found out Bale should be the second to last boss you face in the DLC. I thought he was actually supposed to be the last. I thought he was supposed to be like plus 20 scaling, whereas Radahn is like plus 16 or something like that. Oh god, John Paul Cochrane's graphics card would crash every time he did an aerial move, so he had to look away and dodge based on sound when he jumped up in phase 2. I mean, if it's any consolation, it probably helped that the camera would break on him a lot when he did the aerial stuff. Man, that's awful. How did I get to Bale with 0 blessings? I mean, it really wasn't bad. Like, traversing the open world was not very difficult at all. I have 1,000,000 runes? No, that's 100,000. Okay, that makes way more sense. Anyway, if I don't have ADHD diagnosis, you suggest I look into it because as someone with it, I show a lot of the symptoms. Shut up! No, you. All right. So solidified knot grease made from a sharp gravel stone mixture. Coats armament, granting a potent anti-dragon effect. The effect lasts only for a short time. A tool of the old dragon communion warriors who were the agents of the ancient dragon's hatred for their lowborn descendants. Wait, I read this, didn't I? Yeah, I just didn't move around. Wait, no. Oh, it's just the exact same as the harpoon. Okay. I was like legitimately scared for my life after Kyle's comment right there. Or no, Jack's comment right there. Alrighty, so let's go onwards. No, so the thing is, like, while I'm streaming, like, my attention is definitely, like, not great. Like, there's, like, a streamer debuff, especially when you're trying to interact with chat a lot, where I don't even want to say it feels like I'm at 80% mental capacity. It feels like I'm at, like, 60 or maybe even, like, 40. Because, like, I've never felt anything like this. It's not like a mental taxation. It's just like you're literally hitting the limits of one's attention span. So maybe that's ADHD, but like, I mean, I've learned in intensely rigorous academic settings and been fine. It's just like streaming makes things really difficult for me. And this could just be a me thing with streaming, but I know it's like a debuff for other streamers as well. Maybe not all of them, but why did I go for the eagles instead of the Twillid? I love the mounted colossal attacks. So strong. %60 from 40 IQ isn't that much. Alright guys, I'm gonna be right back. I need to ban some people. Not torrent. Greater Potentate's Cookbook, Tier 6, or Page 6, whatever. From this we get the hefty red lightning pots. And I'm going to need to remember to use these pots sometime to see if there's a difference in quote-unquote branching red lightning or something like that. I don't feel like that's a fair statement to make to a certain degree. Like ADHD symptoms get worse the more worn out you are, because that's like a comorbidity in terms of like one's attention. Like, of course, the more worn out somebody's going to be, the worse their attention gets. I don't think that's like an ADHD specific thing. Which isn't to say that it doesn't happen in ADHD. It's not like they're immune, but it's not a trade secret that tired people can't think so good. Alright, so I don't think I've read the red fulgur bloom yet. It's a flower that crackles with red lightning, found at the jagged peak on the south coast, said to bloom where the red lightning of the ancient dragons strikes the earth. And I think I would have read the yellow ones from the catacombs, but let's double check. That's just normal fulgur bloom, which is imbued with traces of lightning's essence. Blossoms in the realm of shadows, underground grave sites, and places struck by lightning, imbued with yellow lightning's essence. It really bothers me that we get yellow fulgur bloom underground. And maybe this is supposed to have been Godwin's lightning? Like, that's the only way I could really make sense of this. Yeah, let's go ahead and rest. Oh yeah, and then my favorite part of the DLC, maybe. I was trying to climb that rock, and the funny thing is they can like run into it and break it anyway, but... Uh-oh. This is definitely the most metal part of the DLC to me. I need to like turn down the music for these boss battles. But then the music's quiet elsewhere. Cafetini had themselves checked out for ADHD a few years ago. You didn't have any neurological things, but you're told that you have learned ADHD, which is a modern problem. People are doing multiple things by habit and start to cause similar things to ADHD if you do it long enough. You're watching me, listening to Destiny, and reading at the same time. I'm not that bad. My attention span is not good enough to do that. But I mean, to be fair, like, that makes it sound like, oh, he doesn't have the attention span, it's ADHD. But no, it's like, people generally don't actually have the capacity to multitask like that, despite people thinking they do. Or like when they do that, they aren't nearly as effective as they would be if they were only focusing on one or two things. Which isn't to say that Captini isn't focusing on one or two things, but it's not like he can give undivided attention to like three things at once. Music's especially shouty, yeah. So once that one dragon got to low HP, it has the red crackling lightning, which indicates Bale affiliation. I don't know if they both get that way. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, though. They say when two elephants fight, only the grass suffers. So what's that say about this? Humble Gamer says, nobody wants to hear that boring crap. We were raised on multitasking propaganda. It certainly was propaganda. Alright. One Drake down. Oh Lord, he angry. Hopefully he doesn't tail swipe me immediately. Well, that's almost as bad. How I mistimed that, okay. Well, the good thing is it doesn't branch on the ground like that. Oh, the roll critical damage almost killed me. So he's rotted. That's all I really wanted. So now we could go mano e mano. Tail swipe? Nope. Okay. Hey Skellies, welcome back in. Your favorite boss? Well, it is kind of boring that we're just fighting more drakes. At least they did something a little bit different with these ones. But I kind of don't think it's enough. I whiffed. Oh well.
What a sight. A warrior true, if ever one there was. A fellow Drake warrior. Egon. Piteous Egon. Do you not remember? Conjure your past, how once you were, when fear was yet foreign to you.
Jack definitely has it. Hold on, I will do the Egon stuff and then, talk lore and then ADHD.
Drake warrior, dear friend, grant me this one wish. Take this finger, my finger, scale the jagged peak, face Baal the Dread, and when you do, summon me. Summon my soul. My limbs are limbs no more. My heart is twice over filled with fear. But a Drake warrior I remain, and my soul yet lies on the mountain.
I tend to think that he's speaking a bit metaphorically here about his soul being on the mountain, but I kind of want to double check that, so I'm going to look at that real quick. So give me a second for the things to load. Oh no, I guess it does kind of say that pretty verbatim, at least in his furled finger, which I haven't read yet. And let me look at his dialogue. Oh, he says washi. Okay. Yep, that's the same, and Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. Wait, Gizayama? What's the Inquisitor called? Oh, Giza. Okay, of course, it's elongated. So they're not related. I was wondering for a second whether or not the Jagged Mountain was potentially related to Inquisitor Giza or anything like that, but no. Part of my curiosity stemmed just because it was written in katakana, which makes sense, but anyway, not too important. Hold on, I am losing my stuff. There we go. Alright, Egon's furled finger. Let's continue talking.
Proud Drake warrior, I beg of you, scale the jagged peak, face Baal the Dread, and when you do, summon me. Summon my soul. Proud Drake scale, summon me.
Alright, so yeah, his Japanese dialogue is pretty much the same as this, so they're pretty on the money with the localization from my brief glance at that. So, Egon's furled finger. Furled finger of Egon, the broken Drake warrior. Gnarled and knotty and deeply discolored on the inside. When facing Baal the Dread, this summons Drake warrior Egon from Messine. My soul yet lies on the mountain. So, on one hand, it seems that this is both like metaphorical and literal use of language on behalf of Egon, in that the soul is housed in the finger, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a conduit to summon the soul or something like that, which I should have more concrete thoughts about this than I really do. Because I want to tie a lot of this stuff into the two fingers, but then I feel like Metter just kind of like spits on a lot of the headcanon theories that we could come up with in relation to the furled fingers and the two fingers in general and souls and all that. So I'm like trying to imagine a scenario in which like, and it just doesn't work. It sucks. I guess I'll just like complete the thought in case anybody's like really wondering. It doesn't really work out, so be prepared for a little bit of disappointment. But I was wondering if there's any way to reconcile the things like the smithing golems and or wasn't the thing right over here? Don't remember if there's another side of Grace up here, but anyway, whether or not the... what are they called? The wrinkles. Whether or not the wrinkles are related to souls, and whether or not that means they were related to fingers, or the fingers manipulated them. I don't know. So we just got Dragon's Color Bloom. And I think that idea of the fingers manipulating wrinkles in steel and whatnot would have been more fascinating had we not had Metter to just kind of like build a lot of distance between those ideas. So I'm just kind of at a loss, I suppose, for now. Alright. After Scully's, you got tested, you said it was fun, which is such a warning sign. Do you have it or no, then? I feel like a lot of content creators tend to have ADHD. I think there might just be something in the way, like the production pipeline maybe it deals with like hyperfixation and entrepreneurship to a degree. Because you don't have like a set schedule to like work on things, and it's kind of easier for people to go at their own pace. Anyway, Dragon's Color Bloom. Flower with an uncanny shape coursing with hot blood. Material used for crafting items. Exceedingly rare to find. A single flower is said to blossom only once from the hearts of dead warriors who oft partook of the dragon communion. So these things look awfully like the... What are they called? Nectar? Arterial leaves. I'm thinking of like nectar, blood, burgeons, and whatnot. Anyway, the arterial leaves and the other one in the DLC, the sanguine amaryllis. Although this also looks like it has gravel stone like coming out of the blooms, I guess. So why this blooms from the hearts is maybe because like the heart gets coated in gravel stone, but that makes me really curious about like the actual bloom itself and whether or not like the hearts are still in them or anything like that. So I really like the idea of like the lore behind this, but I wish I had more concrete thoughts about it. I guess that's a bit of a pun with gravel stone, but anyway. Dylan asks, what's my favorite location in the DLC? I think for aesthetics, it might either be the Cerulean Coast or the Charo's Hidden Grave. Maybe giving more of an edge to the Cerulean Coast. As far as design-wise, I don't really know if I particularly have a favorite, because I'm not that big of a fan of a lot of the places in the DLC. Like, to give like a better reason as to why I like the design of aspects of the overworld in general, but I do wish it was a little bit more interconnected with perhaps like gravestones or like spirit springs taking you to places that you've like explored from different angles perhaps. So if they had like a spirit spring from the basin down here, if you already came to the top of the Rao base, that would have been pretty cool, but there's nothing like that. It's kind of all linear, although it's branching, which seems like a bit of a contradiction. But what I mean by that is if you go to like the ruins of Auntie and follow the river down to the Abyssal Woods, it's kind of all pointing one direction, and then once you do that, you just kind of warp back. There's no like connection from here to like the Finger Ruins or the Jagged Peak or vice versa. So the legacy dungeons are all pretty good, but I wasn't wowed like I was with either Ray of Lucaria or Stormvale. So it feels like a cop-out of an answer, but I mean really the only super big legacy dungeons in the traditional sense of the word would be like Belyerat / Anir Lim. Rao kind of feels a little bit too disconnected for me to like really think of it as a thing, and the Shadow Keep, which they're just okay. It's kind of like my feelings about it. They're just kind of okay. You agree? You're hoping for more connectivity too? Yeah. Hey Stella, nice to see you again. Are Egon's harpoons quenched in blood? I think they cause blood loss, don't they? Maybe they don't. Just anti-dragon effect. So maybe, depending on how you feel about like dragon wound grease, it'd be a good guess. Pigsy says, fingers are used to speak the language of light, which crosses worlds. A little bit, but I mean, how does that connect to souls is kind of my head scratcher. Oh yeah, I do like the Fisher, but yeah, the Fisher just kind of like falls into the same issue. Like, it looks really big, but it just feels like a kind of long hallway for the most part. Oh, that's an interesting thought, John, that the potential connection between the fingers and summoning is like fingerprints being linked to your soul and identity. I like that idea because that can also help establish why we have like fingerprint looking like things on the bell bearings. Fingerprint shield. I don't know. It's not a very open world. You feel like you're holding Makilla's hand as he guides you. You like the Shadow Keep, though? Yeah, agreed completely, Skyleezy. You don't know why we teleport to near a limb instead of going up the gigantic staircase after the dancing lion. That felt really awkward as well. And once I got to the second side of Grace, I also was like, what's going on with behind the lion dancer? So I backed out. Then I went to the lion dancer stage and then found out that it connected to the side of Grace that I had literally just left. And I felt like a maroon for that. Egon's finger might be gray because he's turning into a dragon? I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, I finally recognize where those like two little asterisk symbols come from. They're from the summon pools. Oh, so these are literally for the summon signs. Okay. Anyway, hey Astanex, you kind of wish we could have had made or unlocked spirit springs as we traveled. Imagine traversing an upper area to knock down a boulder. The boulder hits another boulder at the bottom. Yeah, stuff like that would have been really cool. I don't know. It would unlock a spirit spring that would let you either jump down or jump across, acting as a shortcut to an earlier part of the level. The only thing, like, I say this stuff is cool thematically. I think, and you know, this is a really, really big double-edged sword. One of the problems with that style design is that it doesn't build into the open world level design very well when there's fast travel that's more or less constantly available. So unless you did something like going to point A unlocks point B to travel to point C, then it doesn't really work, because all we've been talking about so far is going back to point A from point B. So perhaps if we go to point B, it would connect a path from point A to point C. That might work as a cool way to make that design feel a bit more holistic. Because otherwise, if we get like the spirit spring from like Charo's hidden grave back up to the gravesite plane, it's like, okay, well, I've already been here. This isn't actually like of any use to me other than just being like, oh, the world's kind of interconnected because of fast travel. Wait. Yeah, I know you've been here since the start. For some reason, like, the tag of my name just made me pay extra attention when I read your comment. Hey, Big Kahuna, nice to see you. Why is Radagon weak to fire? Because he's part tree, bro. I say that flippantly, but I might be slightly serious about that. I don't entirely know how I feel about it. But just to give like a potential like game dev reason for why he could potentially be strong against fire or weak to fire, is because he's really strong to both holy and magic for the most part, I think. So they might have wanted to give him a bit of a weakness to balance him out, which might be dissatisfactory. Or if you want to get like a bit more headcanon-y mental gymnastery going on, so I should have rested. You could potentially say that Radagon kind of despised the power of fire because of like his red hair and the fire giants. Oh, I'm still on it. So with the Ancient Dragon Senisax, you kind of want to go like have it turn around in front of you and then get into its next attack pattern, so that way you can just hit and run with a bit of impunity. You don't want to stay on the water too much because that'll spread out the lightning. And then just kind of aim for its feet a bit. It is really annoying that you can't lock onto its back feet like the drakes. Uh-oh. Alright. Didn't want to piss it off too much in the water. Trying to not get tail swiped. Because I would be fine, but Torrent would get wrecked. Oh, sweet. Oh. I'm scared. If you're gonna cheese this dragon, you know some strats. I should be fine. I feel like I'm doing way more. Wait, why didn't I rot this? What am I doing? Oh my god. I didn't even pull out me Mimic. I didn't pull out me Mimic. This might be a bad idea doing it this way. Are you gonna attack Mimic, bro? Oh, throwing poop. Very well, carry on. Nothing like getting winged on. Just to be safe. That might hurt. Yeah, I saw that one coming. It's gonna be really funny if this like one-shots me. By really funny, I mean tragic. Yeah, we don't need no full flasks. Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone and the Sombers. I'll say that was a lot less time consuming than doing it on 0 blessings. This is awful. Like, it wasn't difficult, it was just tedious. The difficult part was staying focused. ADHD. Anyway. MK says Spirit Springs are connected to Crucible Currents all along. Lore solved. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Putting in all that hard work. They did it in Alien Lois and Dark Souls 2 with the snowball. You didn't explain it well? Oh, the rolling boulder. Sharp gravel stones. So I think it is really cool that we have like a bunch of dragon corpses or drake corpses strewn along the entire mountainside. As we come up here, man, the build up to Bale is so good. It is so good. But the fight is just kind of a mess. It feels like you have to have a summon to just get some of the aggro off, or maybe just have like a crap ton of blessings. I will say like 0 blessings is not the best of times for me. I should probably level up. Oh, I see what you mean. You weren't talking about the boulders. You're saying that you start at a middle height area, you have to go up to a mountain to start at a boulder to unlock a path. The path leads down the mountain. As it unlocks a spirit spring, you need to get down safely. So yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about, from going like from point A to point B, and then at point B, it unlocks a point to point. It unlocks the path to point C from point A, which probably doesn't make a lot of sense just saying it verbally as opposed to having an MS Paint diagram. Alright, so we're still gaining 4 at a time, but alright. You know what, I think we're going to start pumping faith a bit more now. Let's just do this. Get to 50 and then we'll start pumping faith. So that way I can cast the... what's it called? The Black Flame. Is it Noble Presence? The one that that negates physical damage, essentially. Ancient Dragon, use Tail Whip. Jack asks, what weapon from the DLC should you upgrade? You have 19 Dex, 30 Strength, 60 Faith, 40 Arcane. That's a really good Faith weapon in the DLC. 40 Arcane. Faith Arcane. I feel like at that point you just want to be using like a ton of incantations. Oh, Letta's Sword, maybe. Oh yeah, Enter Wise says the Black Knight weapons. I feel like those might be more strength, but they do use Holy. That's true. Hello, girl. Fortisax Remembrance calls him an it twice instead of he or she, since ancient dragons do have genders. That might just be a localization thing where they might have just wanted to take a safe bet because they didn't know what gender the dragon would be. Because you don't always have to specify as much in Japanese as you do in English. Black Flame Protection. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so we already fought Gideon, so we'll just need to get it from the Twin Maiden Husks. I also didn't get the painting for this area, so I goofed a little bit. So as we come up here, these aren't exactly putrescents. These are like beast blood things that you'd find in the Mogwin Dynasty Mausoleum, except these ones are imbued with red lightning, which there might be a reason for this other than just like being hit by a bunch of red lightning or flame lightning, I suppose, technically speaking. But what was I going to say about that? Yeah, maybe they drop an item relating to that, which might make more sense, but there's not much of a reason to fight them. Maybe they're not that tanky after all. Maybe I should try to hit one. So for anybody wondering, you take a detour off going to the right over here, and then eventually the sky will clear up, and then you'll be able to see the Shadow Tree, and that's where you have like a painter soul guy. Which honestly, it was really, really annoying trying to find that one because you can't see the Shadow Tree as a reference point for that painting. It's kind of a mess because the sky is clouded over. And I'm definitely going to date myself here, but if anybody ever watched Nickelodeon's Game and Sports, this definitely gives me Astro Crag vibes. And for anybody who has no idea what the hell I'm talking about, because why would you? Nickelodeon Game and Sports was like a kids game show where they would compete in games and sports for like various prizes, and the final round is always called the Astro Crag, which is like a made up metal and foam covered artificial like mountain for kids to climb up, and whoever got to the top at the like fastest time would get this gigantic glowing green trophy that was said to be a piece of the Astro Crag. I don't know if there's any items over here, to be honest. I don't think there was. or is or are. But the Astro Crag was just like indoors, and they had like a smoke machine and stuff going off, and it was all dark and stuff, and they had like fake lightning going off at times. So this is the closest I've ever gotten to the Astro Crag. But man, I dreamed about competing against other kids on that show as a kid. Hashtag nostalgia. Oh, okay, no, I remember where this is now, so I didn't go the other way. Because that's a dead end. Gas was awesome. Yeah, man. Games and sports. You guys remember that? Nasty Smoking Cube Mountain. Hell yeah. Okay, so a lot more of you guys knew what I was talking about than I was expecting. Which is a little bit reassuring. Now, where am I going? Here, this is what I get for saying, oh, I know where I am, and then, like, immediately getting lost. Don't I need to go lower first? Or does that send me to the right path? Oh Lord, it's coming. Okay, no, this is definitely the way that I just came from. So I done turned myself around. So maybe it's beyond them, but it looked like there was just a wall there. That must have been a me problem. Oh, yep, that was definitely a me problem. Okay, here we go. Now we're good. It's like a child Than Goro gym? I'm not sure what that is. Greenish Crystal Mountain thing? Aggro Crag? Oh yeah, you might be right. Aggro Crag, Astro Crag. I think they had like 3 different variants of it. So it might have changed names, but Aggro Crag also sounds right. Astro Crag, Aggro Crag? You must have taken the Spirit Spring. Nice little note over there. Alright. So I might summon Egon and leave the Mimic tier alone for this fight. Because I'm sure it'll be easier with some blessings. I think I'm at like, what, 9 or 10? I'm at 11. Okay. Guess I don't really have a lot to work with. It's whatever. There's 36-year-olds up in here. You like the temple show with the stone mask more overall, but the Astro Crag was goated. So you like Legends of the Hidden Temple with Olmec. Yeah. Danny from Game Grumps talked about it a lot. Average age of chat is around old Albus. Got him. Alright. So just for some cinematics. No Egon yet. Or Igon, as he's called in Young Frankenstein. Since we're all old men in chat. Already coming! I wonder if I can summon him now. No, so I'd either need to die or kill Bale. Oh no, I can't summon him.
Curse you, Bale! I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true great warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh.
Hey, why is he still screaming? Alright. Oh, I tried rolling, I was too slow. Alright, so that's still a one-shot kill. I might not have been at full health, but that probably will be a one-shot kill still. This chat's full of lower back pain. Speak for yourself. And knee stiffness. This guy got the voice acting job because he was late on rent, and we got this masterpiece performance because of it. He's probably getting a lot more work because of that performance, too. It's crazy. You never summon this guy? The VA is really throwing his back up for this? Well, he said it was like a 12-hour voice recording session, and how many lines does my dude have in the game? Probably like less than 30? Like 12 hours to work on less than 30 lines, man. I believe it. I'm not gonna lie, Say a Frog, that's just kind of a weird comment.
Curse you, Bale! I hereby vow
Just trying to roll.
you will rue this day.
Oh, what are you grabbing?
A true great warrior, and I, Egon.
I didn't know I could grab a gun like that.
Your fears made flesh.
I probably didn't hit. Alright, so I was two-handing. Okay. Oh man, my rolls are so, like, off. So it's too late with unlocking. That was just bad on my part. I should not roll into the enemy attack. Like, literally speaking, not through it. I hate how his flames will branch out at the very end.
I will riddle with holes your rotten hide with a hail of harpoons.
Did he grab
with every
him?
last drop
Yeah.
of my being.
I rolled. I was too slow on my roll. Okay, I rolled too early for once. Oh god. Is he in phase 2? No, okay. Okay, my roll came out too slowly. Oh, that's phase 2. The fireballs came out a little bit faster than I was expecting. Am I out of heals? No? Okay. Did he die? What the hell's going on? Oh, I broke his posture. I didn't hear it. Uh-oh, I should have jumped. I didn't know what he was doing. The camera. I might need to turn down the soundtrack a little bit. It's fine elsewhere, but not in the boss battles. All right. You all love Bale's OST. So since we've got all the old farts in the chat, does anybody else hear the old Batman animated series theme when he transitions into Phase 2? Going no HUD is definitely playing it risky. It's not that bad. I was just doing it for the Bale stuff mostly. Or not Bale, for the Egon stuff. And of course somebody puts their note on top of it. It's obnoxious. Oh, okay.
I hereby vow you will rue this day.
I am really, really glad that they finally patched the game to auto summon rather than having to move your finger to the D-pad and cross on over to select yes. Why'd I say that? Now you won't unhear it? Because I will never unhear it. That's why. Oh, so weird. I rolled too early. And that's what I get for trying to heal. Bro, why am I rolling so slowly?
Great warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh.
I deserve that one. I do wish the camera was better for this fight. There we go, finally. Hell yeah. This is gonna hurt. Oh my god, I was not expecting that. I was trying to trade and just go for it. Hey, Bof, welcome on in. Use Tactical Duke. He regrows his wings as spirits with faith. Maybe. Stella would need to listen to the Batman animated series theme again. Too long since you've heard it. So much better without the default being canceled, for real. I meant to wait for phase 2. Whoopsies.
A true Drake warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh.
Damn it.
Solid of scale you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes.
I was trying to cancel that. I didn't poison him yet. I didn't rot him, rather. That sucks.
With every last drop of my being.
I'm gonna get tailed. Trade. Okay. I didn't remember if flames came out of the bottom of that one. Okay, so it's that way. Ah! Maybe I need to jump that. That might make sense. Oh, we're in phase 2. Okay. I hate when the camera gets broken like that. Yep. That was my fault. Uh-oh. Wasn't sure which one that was. Okay. I can't see what's going on. Damn it. Mistimed it. Uh-oh, didn't know that one. Oh, okay, I'm really bad at dodging this one. Okay, yeah. And believe it or not, that actually is easier to deal with on like plus 11 blessings than plus 0. More margin for error. Y'all do hear the Batman?
Curse you, Bale!
Okay.
I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true Drake warrior, and I.
Okay, I rolled too early.
Your fears made flesh.
So he might fall over soon. Oh no, he just did. Oh, what am I doing? This is my chance.
Solid of scale you might be,
Well,
foul dragon.
I got stuck on his
But I will
tail.
riddle with
That sucks.
holes your rotten
Okay.
hide. With a hail.
I need to mentally map to rot him if I break his posture. That makes a lot more sense. Nobody's realized that Solid of Scale is a Metal Gear Solid reference. Egon doesn't have to be Bale. Wait, Egon doesn't have to be Bale's fears exactly, but whatever Bale divested himself of would be what he fears, which would be Egon. Hey Vorb, nice to see you. And Jan, how's it going, guys?
Curse you, Bale!
Uh-oh.
I
Wasn't sure which one he was doing.
vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true Drake warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh.
Uh-oh, that's the eating move. And I delayed my dodge.
Solid of scale you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide. With a hail of harpoons, with every last drop of my being.
I hate getting stuck on his leg. Damn it! I thought I was out of range. Keep him there, Egon. Brilliant. Okay. Oh no! That's like my Metal Gear Solid oh no moment. Okay, I rolled too early. I need to get out of the tail or the leg spot. Damn it. I could have rolled that better if I knew where he was. Oh wait, do that. I'm gonna die. I don't know how to deal with this one. Oh! Damn it, okay. I mean, I can deal with that one when I'm like actually prepared for it and kind of in a good position, but I don't know how to deal with it off the cuff when I'm out of position. Would anybody love a Bale plushie? That would be pretty cool. You do like that we now know what happened to Placidus Axe and its missing heads? Yeah.
I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true Drake warrior and
Oh, I thought he was doing the tail whip.
your
Bro.
made flesh.
Wait, why didn't it attack?
Solid of scale you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide with a hail of harpoons.
Oh, so he did the same move twice. I don't blame him if it works. Oh, I did it. Okay. I'm stuck on the tail. Not again. Oh man, my roll is too slow. That was me. And I can't punish this, which is annoying. Yes, I finally poisoned it. Alright, so he's pissed off at Egon for all that, which is helpful. And that's the nuke. Apparently you can jump over that based off of comments on my video. I hate that. Ugh. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's doing the thing. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. He might have been pissed off at Bale, or not Egon. Bale may have been pissed off at Egon, not me. I'm scared. Alright, so I've got one heal left after this. No more rots. We're gonna YOLO it.
Bale the dread. You shall haunt me no longer.
Heart of Bale. The biatrial heart of Bale the Dread, dotted with horn-like gravel stones and glistening with deep red liquor. Gorge upon this at the grand altar of dragon communion to absorb Bale's power. The purest form of communion, in the words of its priestess. So, yeah. I would like the Bale fight a lot more if he was just tuned down ever so slightly with some of the cooldowns between his attacks. Because he's already extremely mobile for such a huge boss. And he's just kind of a handful to deal with. It really feels like, for me at least, that you need something else to occasionally grab aggro to get in clean hits against it reliably, as well as having a little bit of free time to heal or buff up, which will happen very seldomly. But yeah, it was a lot more manageable with having the blessings, and I'm sure if I had 18 to 20, it really wouldn't have been that bad at all, and probably a bit more soloable. But for me, it's just more like the movesets than the actual damage of them at times. It's really hard to actually see what Bale is doing well enough to appropriately react sometimes. So, I do kind of like that fight more than Placidus Axe. I always felt like Placidus Axe was a little bit of a letdown and a bit too generic of a dragon boss for me. But Bale kind of makes it work a lot better, perhaps, in terms of posing a threat no matter where you are against him, as opposing to just the old I don't want to say tank and spank, but just the old Dark Souls 1 strat of sticking to an enemy's butt and hitting their feet. The old Tower Knight strat, essentially. So anyway, thank you all for the GGs. I appreciate that. Joji Poji, nice to see you again. Sayfrog thinks the 3-4 boss themes go the hardest. What's up with the arena? It looks man-made. Yeah, I was about to talk about that. Honestly, it kind of reminds me a bit of a Blitzball stadium in Final Fantasy X. So it does look like this could have been the remnants of a city of some sort that may have been calcified, and this kind of stuff almost seems like it would have been on the ocean floor, the way that it's built up. But I mean, that doesn't really work on top of a mountain, or maybe as the remnants of an even older civilization than we know of, that could have been put under the sea for a time and then brought back up, because it simultaneously looks man-made and ancient and overgrown with rocks. And so if something has been calcified, I'm pretty sure that takes a ridiculously long amount of time. So aside from that, we've also got almost what looks like to be stadium stands surrounding this, and I don't entirely know what to make of that. So setting all of that aside, where are we at? Where's the entrance? Okay. When we come into the entrance and throughout the arena, we can see a bunch of bones of people. Are any of these horn scents? I don't think that they are. Yeah, I don't think they're horn scent or anything like that. But I think that many of the flowers here are supposed to represent Kalar blooms, which means that these all could have been Drake warriors that Bale had been consuming, which would be metal as hell. And we also get a lot bigger skeletons, so Bale was definitely supping to its heart's content, pun intended. There we go. Alrighty. So yeah, that was the Bale fights. And Nectarine, welcome back in. Having Egon around helps a lot. Yeah, for sure. It did help me when Bale was doing some of his really intense moves, and Egon just managed to get some of that aggro away. We play in Blitzball with... I can't do a Waka. I'm not even going to try. I just realized how terrible my Waka is because I've never done it before, I don't think. But thanks, Frog. Bale was the first major boss that Jack beat at level 1. No blessings and no summons. Good job, man. More hardcore than me. And then our Crusader wonders if this is a Newman or a Nox city. I'm not sure. That's a good question. My immediate reaction would be probably not. Because there's just not like evidence to support it. So, yeah. The stadium seating looks similar to the big rings around Placidusax. That is another opinion that people have. I personally don't think it looks that similar to the rings in Placidusax's arena, just because they're not filled in with like beastmen and whatnot, and they seem a lot more trapezoidal than that. We could show it off, to be fair. I still haven't fought Placidusax on this playthrough. Sorry. Alright, now what's... For a lot of FromSoft NPCs, Dylan feels the relative lack of animation gives them a stoic, even eerie charm, but you think Egon would have been better off a bit more animated to sell the intensity more? Looks like the malformed dragon armor. That's a good observation. Yeah, I can see what you mean about that, Camellia. We should have that now that you mention it. Kind of. Oh, like just like the front though, mostly. And also, welcome back to the stream. Jan was surprised to learn people were confused if Bale was an ancient dragon or a modern one. You thought it was pretty clear that he's transitional stage between the two. We were talking about that earlier on the stream. Part of the reason why people are confused about that is because Florisax does say that he is the oldest dragon, and there is a little bit of ambiguity as to whether or not dragon means Drake or ancient dragon. So it's kind of up to player inference to figure out how they feel about that. And we're also told that Grail is the mother of all the dragons, which, you know, could contradict Bale being the oldest of all the dragons. So that could potentially put Grail as like younger than him, and then him still being like the oldest one. And then Grail could just be the mother of the drakes, which is the most natural conclusion, I think. Okay, let's go talk to Egon again. Big Kahuna said that they think Placidusax Arena fits into Bale's before it went into the sky. It's possible, but the only thing about that is that I don't think much of anything else in the Jagged Peak or even in Bale's Arena matches very well with the type of architecture that we find in Farum Azula. But it very well could have been true at one point in time, for all we know. No, I have not seen the RL1 strat for Bale in any form. Bale tried to remake his home of Farum Azula, but his craftiness was reduced by his little stumpies. Stumpies. Yeah, Bale does seem to be kind of like an in-between the ancient dragons and the drakes. I honestly don't have too strong opinions about it in general, but that just kind of passes the vibe check for many reasons. All right. So now that we've defeated Bale and kind of fixed Egon's goal, he kind of passes out and dies. We got the old what's his face from Dark Souls 3 Orbeck of Vinheim special here, as well as like Topes. We get Egon's great bow, Egon's helm, armor, gauntlets, and loincloth, plus his bell bearing. So the great bow says, Weapon of Egon, the Broken Drake Warrior. A great bow fashioned from 2 dragon bones bound with coarse rope, covered in gashes left by claws. Imbued with Egon's obsession, enhancing the power of Egon's harpoon. Skill, Egon's Drake Hunt. Skill of Egon, Drake Warrior. Ready the bow before unleashing a twisted shot with a great bellow that considerably enhances its power. I do think it's kind of ironic that Egon is called Drake Warrior when the Drake... Is it the Drake Knight set? Maybe that's the difference. The Drake Knight set in Farum Azula says Drake Knights speak not a word. And boy howdy does Egon not speak not a word. Or Egon does not speak not a word. Too many negatives, my fault. Egon's Helm. Helm of the broken Drake Warrior Egon from a set of armor comprised of a miscellany of parts. This tattered protective wear is shaped like a bugle. The poor scavenger of battlefields found honor through dragon communion. So somebody in Discord was joking that the curved scavenger swords were canonically Bale's weapons because he's a scavenger. I think that might be a bit reductive, but if somebody wants to make that their headcanon, they're more than welcome to do so with that. And so with the Egon Cookbook 2, we can craft Dragon Communion Flesh. I don't think we have any, or is this it? Okay, no, we don't have the Dragon Communion Flesh. So I'll go ahead and read that, plus the Red Lightning Pots. Wherever they are. Is it at the top? Oh, yeah. Dragon Communion Flesh. A lump of animal flesh with a heat that never cools. Boosts vigor, stamina, strength, and dexterity at the cost of gradual HP loss. An imitation of dragon scale flesh created by human hands used to sate the hunger of Drake warriors, if only briefly. So thinking about it now, the whole connection between heat and dragon yearning could tie into those wrinkles of like gold within molten steel. So does that mean runes are hot? Is gold hot? Are memories hot? Is that what this is? Is it just like the will thing? I'm not sure. It might be worth digging into a bit more. Alright, so red lightning pots, craftable item prepared using a ritual pot. A cocktail of red fulminating materials is sealed inside. Throw at an enemy to inflict lightning damage that links to surrounding enemies. The ancient dragons who betrayed their lord to side with the tyrant were known for wielding branching red lightning. So Bale's red lightning is different because it's technically fire lightning, I guess. There might be some more mechanical stuff that I don't know too well as to like what actual damage types they do. That might differ. But lightning pots just are yellow lightning. Do we use the yellow fulgur bloom only for that? Anyway, so the red lightning branches on the ground, which kind of separates it from the normal red lightning incantations of the dragon cult variety, which is strange. I do wish we understood the actual difference between red lightning and yellow lightning a bit better, and why ancient dragons had red lightning instead of yellow one. It's like Placidus Axe has kind of a bit of both going on. Like he has red lightning in his boss arena, but he will also breathe a golden dragon breath. So it's, yeah, I just don't know what to make of it. I like, of course there's all the stuff with the crucible being red gold coated, but then we're told in something like Spira that it's a normalizing current of the crucible's energies and it's white. So I guess we have been talking about it briefly on stream. Maybe it does make sense that the crucible itself is normally red, but if you like channel its powers a certain way, it can turn white. Maybe that's what Spear is really getting at. But then we have all of the other ambiguities about like the crucible and red tinted gold and the Shadowlands in general. We saved Egon? Yeah, I saved him. When people achieve their purpose, they tend to die and their soul can rest. Yeah. That's why Nectarine never achieves anything. Alright, Homer. It's a joke that FromSoft loves to show feet for some reason, and they kind of leaned into it. But you wonder if there's some actual meaning to it because the body parts seem to be special. Which body parts in particular? Because sometimes I do think there is legitimate foot lore to be had, and a lot of times it's not. But now that we've done the Egon thing, excuse me, we can go visit Florisax. Elaborates profusely, then dies. Big Kahuna said Egon said his soul is at the top of the peak and that he tells Bale that he is his fears made flesh. I think he's speaking metaphorically there, to be honest. I don't think he's like actually related to Bale. And he's just talking big. Because, hold on, there's something with Egon that talks about it a bit more. Maybe it's the finger. Do we still have the finger? Or is it a key item? My soul yet lies on the mountain. Yeah, I feel like some of this is just him speaking metaphorically. Like, he feels like he left part of himself behind because he was so defeated by Bale that he's been like in eternal torment. And so if he doesn't fight Bale, he's going to be filled with that kind of resentment and regret and never be able to pass on and die properly. Hey, Aina, welcome back to the stream. How's it going? Morning yourself. Scalazy said, Placidusax also isn't categorized as either a dragon or ancient dragon for damage bonuses, but you're not sure how that fits into the lore. Interesting. I wonder if the new Drake weapon affects him. Probably not if he's not actually coded that way. Stella comes back from an ad to, quote, legitimate foot lore. You heard it here first, folks. Nah, it wasn't here first, but definitely, you've heard it here. Nectarine says the Bible has a million chapters about people getting their feet washed, and it's basically all plot important. What kind of plot are you talking about, Nectarine? Scalazy says, if Bale is near an almighty dragon, a warrior specifically geared to kill him is something he'd fear? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like Bale is such a tyrant, he probably wouldn't take the Drake warriors too seriously, especially considering all of the piles of bones in his arena. Alright, so let's talk to Flory Floor.
Finally, our wish is granted. Our dream, long yearned for, has come to pass. My lord was blessed with great insight. He saw in the insatiable hunger and fierce spirit of man the very things that would fell Bale, our wretched nemesis. Warrior, you soar with the strength of dragons.
The Dragon Bolt of Florisax.
Whereas I am fallen, leave me be.
Confess to putting her to sleep or leave. I don't know if this will change things. Okay.
Good warrior, leave me be. I can call myself an old dragon no longer.
Let me look this up real quick. I'm sure old dragon probably uses the same terminology as ancient dragon, because Japanese doesn't distinguish super well between old and ancient at times. I'm on the wrong thing. Give me a second. I could see why this is different. Let me compare it to the base game. It's like Koryu versus Furukiyu. So this shows up once in the base game. Okay, Ancient Dragon Prayer Book. Yeah, Old Dragon Prayer Book, Ancient Dragon. So, yeah, this doesn't surprise me. Like, it's slightly different, like that, but Yeah, this is kind of just like splitting hairs. I don't really think like the localization matters too much. This is just more to sate my curiosity than anything. Jan says FromSoft fans take things way too literally. Hey, it's me, the FromSoft fans. You love the Oblivion dialogue camera angle? Thank you. Alright, we have put her to sleep.
Is that the truth? Never in all my years. How could you inflict such cruelty? No, that is not for me to judge. Whatever your hand in it, it was I who succumbed to the sweetness of slumber. The fault lies with me. I may be fallen, but I need not surrender my honor. On second thought, I believe you do owe me something for the transgression. On a mere whim, you've stripped me of my one and only law. As such, I require another. You. One day, may you become a dragon whole, a lord of your own making. Lead me, and I will follow, my good lord.
So, this is super interesting because it sounds like she wants revenge almost, like to have our comeuppance, and so maybe us transforming into a dragon is a form of comeuppance, but it's like we learned no lessons for doing such terrible acts as like betraying the vows of one's subject to their lord by performing such a, maybe not deceitful act, with treacherous act perhaps. And for our treachery we get rewarded with like the super cool follower question mark. It's like, what kind of a fairy tale lack of moral story is this? Ancient Dragon Florisax. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell. Used to summon the spirit of ancient dragon Florisax. Florisax assumed this spirit form to offer her service to a new lord. Uses her own dragon bolt to increase all damage negation, including physical, for herself and nearby allies. Strikes foes with the Flowerstone Gavel's dragon bolt to reduce enemy lightning damage negation. Long ago, Florisax assumed a human form to share dragon communion with the world. Now she has acquired a human heart. So, I do regret not getting, regret's not the right word. I do wish that we could also get the rock heart, but I think it's kind of cool that you can get rewarded for going down different paths in the DLC. I kind of wish there were more stuff like this to make the not the DLC, but like the choices of going through a new game cycle meaningfully different, because the vast majority of a new game cycle will feel exactly the same, except maybe even worse, because you'll probably already have a completed build by the time you do it. And so having more reasons to go out and explore and like get different things is more appealing to me as a gamer personally, but I don't know how like others feel about that. So for instance, I liked being able to turn Nepheli into a puppet or Dung Eater into a puppet, because that was something that made my playthroughs slightly different, but that was probably not even 1% of the total time that I spent playing each playthrough, which was just a little bit disappointing in the grand scheme of things. Nectarine, quote, okay, this is a good time to tell you that I killed Placidusax. And yeah, that was the other thing that I was going to complain about, that you could totally kill Placidusax before this happens, but since he's outside of time, you didn't really kill him, I guess. But it really sucks that nothing at all in the base game ties into the DLC and vice versa. Hey Pokemon, welcome back in. This dialogue is similar to when Ronnie flips out because we found out she's a tiny doll body. Here it makes more sense though. If you took my reason to live, now you'll give me a new reason to live. But that's the thing, though. Like, why can't she exist on her own? This whole weird dichotomy between lordship and subject is something that's woefully underexplored, but is really fascinating to me. You think she's rewarding us for giving her rest and not making her do everything for her lord? The spell says she never knew love and never used it, but she uses it when summoned. Okay, let's look at that. Alright. Special incantation of the ancient dragon Florus Axe. Calls down red lightning to bolster the caster and nearby allies. While enrobed with red lightning, all forms of damage negation, including physical, are increased. This also increases damage negation while guarding as an additional effect. There was a time when the priestess never knew love, and thus never used this incantation herself. And so, yeah, you're saying that she does use this while we summoned, so she might have love for us as her lord? That's kind of an interesting take on things there. And that's perhaps because she's finally acquired a human heart. So did we show her love? I mean, it's kind of a weird quest to make that work. I don't remember that part of the Elden Ring dating sim. Anyway, if I had the right idea. Does this mean that this was the humanoid form that Vike fell in love with? Yes, I think that is the most likely explanation. Granted, there is enough wiggle room to say, like, maybe the different dragons have different transformations, and Fortis Axe may have had a more perfect one, but that's just pretty heavy conjecture, and kind of more up to the individual to decide how they want to interpret the lore on that front. She doesn't want vengeance, she just wants somebody to serve. In a way, it's also freeing her, finally letting her rest. Yes, but no, because, I mean, she felt listless. But I see what you guys are saying. Makes it feel like the choices actually matter when they actually matter. Exactly. All right, so hold on. Let me pull up the rock heart description, I think. Because this will tie into some things that I want to talk about. I kind of already forgot what she said because there's something else that I wanted to talk about that. Okay. So I'm going to paste like 3 things into chat, which will be the description of the rock heart. Alright. Heart consumed in the ancient original form of dragon communion. Used while disrobed to turn one's human flesh into an ancient dragon. The change cannot be undone except by death. Using this heart while already transformed temporarily boosts dragon communion incantations. The last thing the partaker saw with human eyes was a sunset. Its colors faded and tarnished, a remote thing from eternity. So let me double check the Japanese. I've looked at it before, but I don't remember exactly what the differences were. We look at the English again. Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me reread that again. So, how did I explain this before? Let me look something up. Man, now I'm going to have to like actually think about what I thought the first time I was looking at this. Alright, I don't remember where I talked about this, so maybe I only thought about it. Is that the rock heart or the priestess's heart? That was the rock heart. Oh, priestess's heart is right under it. Let me... Okay, yeah, that description is different. So I can get the rock heart is... Oh, that's the dragon painting one? Okay, so I missed the priestess heart. Thank you. Shows how well I know this DLC. Alright. The stone heart of a dragon communion priestess. Used while disrobed to turn one's human flesh into an ancient dragon. The change cannot be undone except by death. Using this heart while already transformed temporarily boosts incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult. The priestess was once an ancient dragon herself, but sacrificed that form for feeble flesh to aid in the destruction of Baal the Dread. Okay, so her heart wasn't that important. It was the rock heart, which was, and that one will turn us into the ancient dragon man versus looking like Florisax. So, now that I brought it up, I do want to talk about the rock heart. Now, alright, let me go back to that description. Okay, now I know what I was thinking. That makes sense. So, there's really not anything super wrong about the localization of the rock heart in the final paragraph where it says, the last thing the partaker saw with human eyes is a sunset. Its colors faded and tarnished, a remote thing from eternity. But the Japanese is ever so slightly different, and it specifies that it's not necessarily the sunset itself which was faded and tarnished. And it was everything that was faded and tarnished. And this is kind of splitting hairs because, arguably speaking, when you look out into the sunset, that's what like gives everything else its color. So it's not exactly wrong or anything, but it can give the wrong impression that if somebody is only focusing on like the literal sunset itself, that it could mean like the sun has lost color, whereas like everything lost color, which is slightly different and might be slightly more impactful as to what that entails with a rock art. And so, what was the last thing Florisax said? My lord? So, Florisax was talking about... My lord will no longer look upon me. Oh, right. Finally, our wish is granted. Our dream, long yearned for, has come to pass. My lord was blessed with great insight. He saw in the insatiable hunger and fierce spirit of man the very things that would fell Baal, our wretched nemesis. Warrior, you soar with the strength of dragons. Okay, right. So, between the player character or whoever like takes the rock heart losing sight of all colors and all colors becoming like tarnished and faded away, that might be because once you reach the apex of desire, you can no longer truly desire anything else, which seems like contradictory because Florisax and Placidusax wish for Baal to die, which seems like they have desire still, but they can't seem to enact their desire for whatever reason, which is oxymoronic, it seems. But to be fair, they can't accomplish their mission and they need humans because humans still have desires. So maybe it does come full circle. And if so, I'm not entirely sure what the hell the difference is supposed to be between like desire and yearning and hunger in general versus wishing an enemy to die or like wanting revenge. Because they seem to be rooted to the same base emotion, but maybe they're expressed differently. I don't know. All right, Jack, you have a good night, and you have a good night as well, Kyle. Sorry for taking so long to kind of finish that thought line there. So, right. I think we don't have a lot of time for the rest of the stream, so I might go to the round table hold and like level up Florisax a bit, and then fight Placidusax with Florisax, just for the lulz. So let's do that. Jan says, maybe humans who achieve dragonhood are more enlightened than dragons who were simply born that way, hence no desires. I don't know, because it seems like most people would like fail that path.
Look around. Don't worry. I'll continue, which is why
I don't want to talk about this now. This sucks. Wait, can I keep upgrading my mimic? Oh, I do have the ghost glove for it. So I don't have tier 7. It's whatever. Maybe one day I will get the bell bearing. Fills you with determination. Anyway, so let's go ahead and equip her. I probably can't even summon her, can I? No, I have been pumping up mind. 85. What do I need? I should have enough. Yeah. Okay. Let's go fight Placidosax. Hi, Mygil. Welcome on into the stream. Mimic in 2024. Not trying to sweat on a lore playthrough. Just trying to get through things pretty quickly, relatively speaking. I didn't summon it for Bale, at least. Since Egon's enough. Man, now this makes me wish, like, the Florisax Spirit Ash had dialogue for the Placidosax fights. That'd be so good. Send it back on up. Uh-oh. He got me. Gravelstone. It's kind of interesting that that didn't branch because we're kind of in water still. So we get the Somber Stone Miner's Bell Bearing. I forgot that that one was there. Oh well. And now we have some of those chalices that we saw in the Dragon Spit Terminus. That's where it collects the dragon spit, I guess. Anyway. Pokemon wish there was a way to avoid burning the Erdtree, burning the round table, and getting everyone depressed by accessing endgame areas. You just gotta zip around, bro. Zip, zip, zippin'. Here's the secret to getting the happy ending in a FromSoft game. Step 1. Uninstall. True story. Jan wonders how the Beastmen felt after learning Placidosax thought humanity were better at enacting the dragon's will than them. Depends on how many thoughts the Beastmen had. I guess like Malekith and the demi-humans could suggest they weren't really all dum-dums, but yeah. Alright. I'm just reminded of how I completely, utterly missed this, my first playthrough. Because I was like busy looking around the edges and exploring everywhere else. I like stepped around it, and yeah. If anybody's curious, I have my legitimate first playthrough uploaded of how I missed coming into the Placidosax arena. Having a rain of embers 24/7 everywhere takes away from each area's intended aesthetic. It's a cool option to have during this cutscene. It gives it a different vibe. Yeah. Typically don't fight Placidusax before, like, unleashing Destined Death. I mean, I don't fight him after unleashing Destined Death, typically, because he's not that difficult to deal with. So, speaking of Placidusax, let's look at it. So it kind of has a spiral type motif going on with its necks, kind of wiggling around each other, but in the Talisman of the Old Lords, which I haven't picked up, or the Old Lord Talisman, or whatever it's called. It has 4 heads, pun not intended, and some people were wondering if it had 5 heads because of the what's called the data mine names for like its neck pieces, but it's kind of arguable whether or not the 2 heads are supposed to, like, the 2 neck pieces are like one neck that was cut in half or something like that, or it was actually supposed to connect to a 5th head. So I still tend to think that Placidusax makes a bit more sense to me being 4-headed because of the Old Lord Talisman as opposed to having 5 heads, but other people definitely feel differently. In general, I think the actual appearance of Placidusax floating in the sky like this kind of reminds me of a heart. It's unfortunate that I actually don't have the rock heart or the Ancient Dragon Priestess heart right now to compare them. Maybe we could compare it to Bale's, but yeah, it's not the best. But it just kind of reminds me of like the overall shape of the heart. Like its wings kind of look like the pericardium, the like not the shell of the heart, but the outer walls, whatever you want to call it. SRA, welcome on into the stream. Mygil asks, why are there embers in this area though if it's beyond time? Maybe because it's not as beyond time as some people think, or maybe it's just a bit of dev oversight. Good question though. And so why says it's not beyond time anymore. So as we came into the arena, we were just kind of chilling on the ground, essentially, and we laid down, and then this happened. So there is the possibility that Placidusax is technically beyond time, and that what we fight might not be the full version of Placidusax, and this could just be something inside the mind of all the Tarnished, or all who like partake in runes, perhaps, which might be a bit much, but I think it's an interesting idea, depending on like how you feel one traversed into Archdragon Peak in Dark Souls 3, for example, through meditation. There might be a similar principle going on in Elden Ring, but then if you really do believe that, it kind of like throws a wrench into the role of the Greater Will and its fingerprint on gold and runes. So it might not be the best theory, but it's a theory. So anyway, Coffin Travel version 2, pretty close, yeah. You're just in a mausoleum instead of a coffin. Destined Death is even more beyond time. Checkmate. Got him. Give him that checkmate. All right, so I think that's it. Oh yeah, so in Placidusax's arena, we get a bunch of the yellow lightning. Throughout his fight, he will use some red lightning, unless they change that to troll me. And then we'll also summon a Florisax for the vibes. Yep, so there is the red lightning calls. And just compared to Bale, like, Placidusax is so slow, it's almost a surprise that Bale lost. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that I meant to talk about Placidusax. He's got all of this gold, like, innately in its body. And it doesn't resemble any of the other ancient dragons. Like, Two of its back wings are broken. Part of its tail is broken. You can see one of its necks hanging on the ground. Maybe another one on the far left side. And potentially the fifth neck in the middle. Damn. Floris Axe got. No wonder why this dude was our lord. Uh-oh. I rolled too early. He two-shot me? Oh, I don't think I healed after I got hit by the little beast man guy. That's what I get for not respecting Placidus Axe. Now I have to make the full run back. Zug Scoob. Use the rock heart? I wish I had it. I don't have the painting. That's not cool. Definitely trying to touch those blood stains, alright. Wanna go get it? Probably not at this moment, unfortunately. I don't remember where the painting is off the top of my head. It's probably the Shadow Keep. MK wonders, is Grace always the sun and trees also collect sunlight? Potentially, but maybe not, because fate is tied to grace, and fate is also like more of a star thing. Although technically, I guess the sun is a star, but it seems like a different type of star, more like a cosmic body, and that might be like a bit of a Japanese thing. So like the word for star, hoshi, is also used to mean like planet or satellite at times. So yeah, a bit more ambiguous. After the boat's down by the ladder. Okay, so that's the one by Midger's Manse. That's kind of what I thought. So that one wouldn't be too far out of the way to get, to be fair, since I did beat the hippo. Alright, we already saw that. Alright, so this time I'll be a little bit more aggro and maybe try to save Florisax, our tier 7 Spirit Ash. Uh-oh, sorry, Flory. Oh, I don't remember if I healed. Oh, that's not helpful. That's funny. I didn't think it would reach me. Okay, so I was a little too aggressive, so this time I'll play a little smarter. Well, I'm making excuses. Oh yeah, and so the as far as I'm aware, I don't believe any of the imagery of like the elevators in Fair and Missoula shows up anywhere in the DLC either. I'm just tripping. I thought I saw one move over there. Alright, so I'll heal after I drop. Is that dude using the Great Katana? That's funny. A lot of people run into Placidus Axe right now, it seems. Although I don't really know if the white ghosts are actually like current dudes or something else. Alright, so this time we will be smarter and use our buffs first. Our buff and our summon. And then perhaps maybe dodge an attack or two. That might help. Ruh-roh. That's gonna hurt. So Placidus Axe has completely golden irises, or sclera, whichever, both. Oh, I rolled too soon. The nuke! Man, that nuke seems tiny in comparison to Bale's now. And so after he does do that nuke, oh, you also have a bit of a time to punish it, which is nice. I ran out of FP right then, though, so I didn't follow up attack, and then I was too delayed. Oh, Lord, it going. I'm gonna die if I get hit again. This might be it. Nope, okay. Oh no, Florisex! I'm doing less damage than I thought it would be. So yeah, with Placidus Axe's ability to turn into that red lightning cloud, that has made me wonder if he's unironically the Stormlord. Uh-oh. This is what I get for talking all this crap about Placidus Axe. I don't see him, George. Oh. What is going on? That's okay. I rolled into it. I probably should have died. I would have died if this is the DLC. I didn't see him. Oh, I rolled too early? That's funny. I don't even really remember dying to Placidus Axe that much. I one-shot him my first time through the game, so it's kind of ironic that... It's especially ironic that I've been summoning with Florisex and dying. Running out of heals, no less. Granted, I have been playing a little bit more aggressive because I thought he was almost dead like 5 times. Nigel says, playing through the main game after the DLC shows how much better at the game the DLC made me, at least in your case. Well, apparently I haven't gotten any better at all, considering how I'm dying to Placidus Axe. When I think Placidus Axe is one of the easier base game bosses. And Twi says, this place does have to be special. It's the only place you can use the golden needle. I'm not trying to say that I don't think it's special. I'm just saying, like, if it is part of the inside of the Tarnished, I could also see, like, that still being a good enough reason for the golden needle to work there. Pokemon says, Fogwall, time to buff Incant, eat prawn, aromatic spell buff. Yeah, all those buffs. And recharge FP. Alright. Now that I can see what I'm doing, let's go ahead and do this. I'm not going to summon this time around. But I'll be a little bit more cheap. So I did not hit him as much as I would have liked with those attacks. Uh-oh, that's not good. I'm going for it. Okay, I don't need to go for it. I saw it happening, but oh well. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get around fast enough, and I was probably going to do more damage that way. Which, if I was smart, I would have done the strat again of trying to break its posture and then rot him. But apparently I'm not smart. Gee, guys, I wonder where he is. It's the plus thing of rotting the guy. I think I whiffed that. I really do like the visual effects on that, though. So now he might laser. I'm out of stamina. Or not stamina. FP and Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I should have stopped. Whew, okay, I think I barely made that. He's no longer rotted. I don't know where he is. Found him. Wow! I got one-shotted? That's tragic. I blocked the first attack. Maybe he like broke my guard and that did extra damage on the second hit? That's unbelievable. He does holy damage, doesn't he? And I don't have anything to actually mitigate that. I guess lightning is the best I have. Which is pittance of an amount. I guess it might make more sense to do this. Because then I might not get one shot. Oh well. I'm a firing my laser. Yep. I almost just walked to my death. When you spend 30 seconds buffing and then dying in one hit. I definitely had that feeling with Bale. Not this run, obviously, but you miss DS1, just eat your greens and get fighting. I mean, you don't have to use all the buffs, to be fair. I don't. Just because it kind of annoys me having to do that much for it. I'll buff occasionally here and there, like the fire buff. Flame grant me strength. But that's about as much as I can stand. That attack is what always got me with Placidus Axe. Normally I just like stay back, but I did not anticipate that it could one-shot me. That got me completely off guard, like literally because I was guarding too, huh? You'll pop a golden vow and that's where you'll draw the line. That's what I get for not summoning Florus Axe, because she could have given me that anti-lightning damage buff. Dylan says, here's an idea about red lightning. Could it be from being weaker? Like in real life, the color lightning indicates how hot it is. Blue and white lightning having more energy, red being the lowest energy. I like that idea. However, then why would the lowest form of the Dragon Cult incantations be yellowy lightning instead of the red one? Time to keep running again. Oh, that's not how you hit him. He's gonna tail whip. Alright. Is there a follow-up? Should probably stop using my special for my rot breath. Yeah, I might have screwed that up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I rolled too soon. Oh, that wasn't bad. Phase 2. Follow the red cloud. Don't get distracted by the ghosts. Oh Lord, he's changing. I didn't roll too early that time. So I should roll forward. I was trying to roll backwards so that way I could follow up his attacks. So if he does his laser breath, I wouldn't be caught so off guard. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is. I found him. Okay. Not again. Please. That's scary. What is that? This is the laser, I think. Just fire. Okay. Damn it. Here I am playing too passively. This is the most I've ever respected Placidus Axe. Feels weird. Trying to recover some stamina. Breath? Nope. Okay. Now breath. Remembrance of the Dragon Lord. I can't believe it was that difficult that time for me. Because I always felt like his moves are really easy to read and dodge. Rip. Alright, Placky has 5 fingers, Elden Beast has 5 fingers, Metter has 4 because she's a woman and unintelligent? No. She has 4 because she don't need no thumbs. And I also don't really like the whole misogynistic language there, not gonna lie. It's cringe as hell. Could Red Lightning have something to do with no longer being connected to the Greater Will in some way? Thinking about that. It's an interesting thought. I don't dislike that. But if that were the case, I would like more anti-Greater Will things that are red. And I think like pretty much the closest thing that you would get that would be that the Finger Slayer blade is covered in blood. But I don't really think that works. Matt says the Fell God. I don't think so. With the Fell God and whatnot, I see what you're going for with that, but I'm not sure about that because the Greater Will doesn't seem to care if like the Outer Goddess Scarlet Rot would have its own order with Millennia. So I don't think that red is inherently anti-Greater Will. Magella thinks that red is connected to the primordial area, like the Crucible Knights are red gold. But that wouldn't be anti-Greater Will. If anything, that would almost be pro-Greater Will. But okay, everybody, that'll be it for tonight's stream. We'll pick it up at the same time tomorrow of 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you guys will join us on the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe. Last Protagonist out.